So now I'll take you through the process of editing a group's listing on the gateway. The group content type on the gateway is in fact a folderish content type, so it itself can contain other information. In this particular video, I'll talk to you about editing the group content type itself. In other videos, I'll tell you a little bit about adding specific content to your group. Now, first of all, you must have admin rights over the group. So if you don't have those rights, you won't be able to perform these functions. So the first thing to do would be to make sure that you have that. Now I'll go straight to a group now and take you through some of the editing. If you navigate to the group itself, and if you do in fact have the right permissions, you should see a green edit button on the group. You can actually also use the native edit button up in the edit view here. That's exactly the same as this one. The green one's just easier to find. So if I click on that edit button now, that will take me to the edit form for the group itself. Now this is where you can type information in about your group. So I've got a bit of pre-built information ready. Make sure the title of your group obviously is correct. I would also strongly recommend that you always provide a summary. And in fact, that's a standard rule for all content on the site. Always provide a summary because it helps with search results and listings. You can then also provide a rich body of text. This can include not just text, but you can also format text and add images and links, and also a lot of other information in this area. So I can have titles, and just like a normal editor, I can make those bold, or I can say change the format of that to a header and organize the content. I won't go into too much detail, but it's a standard rich text editor. There are options to create hyperlinks and to insert images as well. Then below that, you need to set the type of organization. This helps when people are searching for organizations. Almost all groups will be of the type Landcare group. But if you are a network and you have groups below you, then choose network. And if you happen to be managing one of the top 13 regions, then you would choose region. And there is room for one other type. There are some organisations that will list on their gateway that are not specifically any one of those particular types. So typically you would choose Landcare group. The next option is an option to enable access to the group for your members. This is optional, but if you intend to be active on the gateway, we would recommend that you turn this on. What this does is it will enable a button on your group page that will allow other members of the gateway to request access to your group, and that will be part of the process of gaining access to a group to be able to participate online in the group or to edit it. But if you don't have a very active group, you may choose to turn that off. The listing only option is if you really just want a dormant listing on the gateway but you don't intend to actually use your group pages, you can switch your group into a listing only mode. At that point, when your group is listed in search results or in results under a parent network, rather than linking to your gateway page, it will simply display your contact details and perhaps just a link out to your website. So that's an option for groups that actually don't intend to participate significantly on the group. The next option is to choose the region that you're in. So you would then choose the regional area that covers your particular group. If you are a network and you have members within your group, then you can choose to list those members on your group. This particular option works in conjunction with the member listing below, and this is where you can actually search and find other groups. And if you can add those groups in as members of your group. You can type in a keyword and find a member, or you can browse through the list and add any number of members to your group. So once you've done that and tick this box, they will then show on as a listing on your group. Then you can also upload a logo. We recommend that you do so. If you don't do so, then the standard Landcare hands will always show. But if you actually do have a logo, then we would recommend that you find that logo and add that in. So I'll just quickly upload a file there. Now that's the first page of properties. We have several pages of properties that you can edit. You can do them in multiple stages. Let me just save those for the moment. And so now my logo has been uploaded, my additional content has been placed in there, and I can see the members that I have into the group already, and other content that I was mucking around with. But if I go back to editing this group again, I'll take you through some of the remaining options. You can also now add a customized group header that sits up at the top of your group. This is an excellent way of branding your group pages. This header should generally be quite a wide landscape image, so around 1920 pixels wide and 400 high. So I've actually got an image ready for an example here. And I'll turn my header on, so let's save that and see how that works. It'll take a moment to upload because it's a large file, but now I've got an image header at the top of my group that helps me identify. Back to the editing again of the group. You can also add contact details to your group. Now these contact details show up in the top left of the group below your logo. So I can add that in, and I can, let's say, you can put in any amount of information you want in here, and whatever you put in will be displayed. Anything you don't put in simply won't be displayed, so you're not forced to put any particular information in there. Another option is your social settings. Now this is where you can put in your Facebook, Twitter IDs. So I'm going to just do that as a demonstration. You don't put in the entire address, you simply put in the IDs themselves, and the system will work out the addresses for those. So let me save those. That gives us contact details. So now I've put in website contact details, and also now I have a Facebook and a Twitter feed, although there's no tweets in it at the moment. And back to editing. So moving on to the mapping tab, this is where you can define the pin location and also a polygon that would define the area of your group. So the first thing you do is type in the location of your group. You can try with just a simple town name, but if that doesn't work, you might need to type in a more accurate address. In my case, it's a unique name, so it worked first go. You can actually drag this pin to any particular location on the map and set it quite accurately. Once you've decided you're right with your pin, you can also move down to the polygon, again center the map at the area where you operate. And then once you've found the right area and perhaps the right zoom level, you can then draw a polygon that literally shows the area that your group operates. A double click will close the polygon, and you can actually add additional points into the polygon. It's quite a nifty editing tool once you get used to it. So you can define quite elaborate shapes as well for the area. Once you've done that, you can also set colors, preference colors for your area. So that will set both the fill colour and the border colour for the area, and then you can save that information. So once that's saved, you'll find that that then displays a map polygon showing your group, and this is the information that people will then see when they're searching for you on the maps. And so back to editing, and I'll move on to categorization. This is where you can set up keywords and tags that are relevant to your particular group. So we have a set list of keywords within the gateway, and you can choose any number of keywords. You can simply click on the option and it will find the keywords, or you can actually type in words to look for something in particular. There you go. And so then you save that. Now the last two items, dates and ownership, are not particularly relevant to groups, so I wouldn't bother editing those. But I would certainly recommend, when you are managing a group, that you definitely work your way through all of the top first set of tabs, right down to categorization, because it will make a big difference as to how your group's page is listed on the website and what people see. So just going back and summarizing some of that information, the header image should be a wide landscape image around 1900 by 400 pixels. Logos are recommended around 200 to 150 pixels, or generally about square. And also with the social media links, make sure that you put in the IDs and not the full URLs. And definitely go to the trouble of doing the mapping and the keywords as well, all to help your group being found on the